Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I'm joined with my very talented friend Baxter. He's a session player. He plays weddings, functions, in theatres and musicals, and he works with singers and songwriters, and he's in a band as well. So we'll get all into that in the rest of the video. So Connor, say hi.
Hey, how's it going, guys? That's the best description I've ever had. It's normally shorter and ruder. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice to be here, Dave. Yeah, this will be really fun because we've sort of known each other for a while, so it'll be a nice sort of share stories and experience.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah. So this is the first time I've ever done a interview style video, so it's a bit weird, but
that's fine. Well, hopefully we can both learn something. So yeah, that'd be cool.
You've got your guitar ready. I haven't got my guitar. So.
Oh, always, mate. Yeah, if my fingers ain't moving, they're going, yeah, what are you doing? So,
Cool. Right. So let's jump straight into it. So you said, like, as I said, obviously you do weddings and functions and stuff. So how did you get into like playing functions? Where did you start?
It sort of started where when I was at uni, you sort of get spoon fed of ideas of what you can do in the industry. So there's every week it was opening my eyes of, okay, so people do this stuff, or they'll be in the studio doing that, or oh, you can do this as well, and jobs wise, like all of these different jobs I would never ever thought about when I was at school. It was sort of like, well, you just get on stage, and that's the only thing you do, right?
Sure.
So we had a few people come in talking about sort of their jobs and that, and someone was like, yeah, I do loads of function stuff, and I was like, okay. And yeah, I sort of, after that, sort of hearing about that and weddings and function stuff like that, I thought, yeah, okay, I'll have a look at that, because it seems like good pocket money, and you're playing loads of cool catchy tunes and that.
Yeah.
So I contacted a few sort of local function agencies, people who have rosters of bands that will play weddings and that, sort of under their sort of label, if you will. They take sort of a commission. So I auditioned for them and said, if you need a player or someone for bands and that, then I'm around. They put me on their sort of what you call like a dep list, sort of like fill-ins. And yeah, I got a few gigs through that and filled in for a few mates, and it really started from there. It was just sort of filling in for people. And even now, most of my work now is sort of just filling in for people that can't do, certain dates and weddings and that. So
yeah,
it's really good fun. It's one of those jobs where it's really daunting at first, because unlike original gigs like me and you've done, where you sort of start with a half an hour set, nice and easy, and then you build up towards the sort of longer sets. With this stuff, it's all sort of like 2 hours or maybe a bit more of music, so there's quite a lot of songs to sort of prep for any given gig. But, it's really good for your playing though, because you really you got to spend the time and get it all right and try and remember that much info.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Yeah, so what would you suggest that, like, for like someone who's thinking about becoming a session player, how would you suggest they get started? What do you need in terms of equipment and skills, and where would you go to get your first gigs? What would you say about that?
Okay, cool. So yeah, so generally speaking, so let's talk about sort of the job at hand and attitude first. So the idea of a session player, whether it be functions or originals or studio stuff, is really about being someone that's going to get whatever job it is done as easy as possible and as good as possible. So that means you're going to be put into loads of different sort of situations. It might be different styles or different people. You might end up getting asked to use different gear than what you're used to and stuff like that. So that can be a big game changer as well. Do you know what I mean? I've had that a few times where I'll be in a studio and they'll go, yeah, can you use this guitar that I'm used to producing with? It's like, okay. And the action would be like a tightrope, like a few inches off the board, and I'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, can't imagine that, actually.
Just like struggling with bar chords, So it's one of those things. I think that the key word is sort of being adaptable and reliable. I think they're the two big ones, because you're going to be doing loads of different stuff. So trying to keep that in mind. I try and stay fresh. So I mean, I'm sort of greedy anyway, so I'm always trying to dip in and out of styles when I'm learning at home anyway. But trying to get comfy with the sort of stereotypes of of like your rock stuff, and then your pop stuff, your soul, disco, especially with the function stuff, because a lot of that is rock, pop, and funk and soul,
Yeah.
So try and get the grips of you know, if you need to within like 10 seconds go, okay, I need to play in this sort of style or whatever, you can sort of come out with something that's going to sound like it, you know.
Sure.
So I think that's a big one. In regards to gear, I would say again, really, it's being reliable and something that you're used to. It's making everyone else's job easy, so they don't have to worry about you.
Cool.
So like when I gig with the function stuff, it'll be different, you know, to when I gig with the prog metal stuff. You know, I'll always be using loads of different bits and bobs. So for my function stuff, I'll take something simple like my telly, which sort of does clean stuff well, and it takes drive all right as well. And then amp-wise, I have, you see down there, just a little Fender Blues Junior, which is like one little 12-inch speaker. I got that second hand for like 300 quid, so it's not like a dear amp at all. And that suits me fine. It gives me everything I need to get the job done. And to be fair, I actually really like the sound of that. I sort of get on with it. It's just a simple. It's like the sponge cake, you know. And then you can add, you know, the nice stuff on the top with, you know, pedals or whatever, or your own playing.
Of course.
So I sort of use that, and then if it's something like, you know, other stuff, maybe I have a more rocky amp, like I have a Laney over there, which is sort of, I'll use that for like, you know, the Vrona stuff, or, you know, if a gig asks for a rockier sort of sound, you know, I've done a few stuff like, you know, I've filled in for a guy who does sort of like Michael Jackson tribute stuff, so that'll probably come out more than the, you know, the Fender for that stuff, for the, you know, beat it solo and all that.
Of course.
So yeah, same again, it's about being adaptable and reliable, you know, having that stuff. But you don't need like, you know, really expensive gear. That's sort of your, you know, sort of journey of what works for you. But you know, you can get a job done with anything as long as you know it well enough. I mean, sort of adding on to that, I've got down here when we're talking about the sort of theatre pit stuff. So the difference with that sort of stuff is, you know, you'll be playing maybe like 5 different styles in one song. You know, if it's especially like Broadway stuff where they're changing it up. So having something that gets loads of different sounds is great. And the first few pits I did, and rarely, sometimes I still do, I use sort of like you know, old ME25, if you remember these.
Mate.
So I picked this up like super cheap, and I've done about like 4 pits with literally just that, just straight through.
Really well.
And you know, if you spend the time and get, okay, there's a nice clean sound, there's a nice you know, classic rock, and then there's the shred sound. You know, you can make your presets and you can get through that sort of stuff as well, as long as you put the time into sort of going, okay, that sounds cool. You know, and to be fair, the sound guys love stuff like that sometimes, because in the pitch you got to keep it quiet. So when there's like a speaker going, you know, ham, then they go like, oh, you're being too loud. Can you try it? You know. So sometimes that direct stuff works a treat. You know, I know a lot of guys in the pits now that use stuff like Kempers and Active Effects and that, because it keeps them really quiet, but they still get, you know, banging sounds.
Exactly. I mean, this like totally different, but like when I'm playing gigs, I found that digital just straight into the system, just it's just a lot less hassle as well. Like it's just easier to set up, one cable, plug in the back, and then you're ready to go pretty much as well. So as well as gear, how important is it to be able to like get to gigs by yourself, like being able to drive and stuff? I'm guessing like sometimes you're in situations where you don't really know the band too well, and you're all from different places, I'm guessing. So you'd have to be responsible for getting there yourself.
So that's a huge thing. Being self-sufficient. So yeah, once again comes to that reliability thing, knowing that you can do the job off, you know, if your own back, people don't have to worry about you. When I learned to drive, that was a humongous game changer for me. You know, once I said that and I was able to tell people, yeah, you know, I can do that gig, yeah, I can drive as well, you know, wherever you need me, people were just like, okay, sweet, that's awesome, don't have to worry about him, you know. I've done a few gigs where if you're lucky you can get picked up, you know, if you're near enough, but no one likes the idea of going, okay, we've got this new guy, we have to go pick him up on the way to the gig, you know. So for me it's amazing. Obviously not everyone's gonna, you know, already be driving or have the money to drive, you know, for certain reasons, and that's fine. It's all about trying to make yourself as easy to get on with on a job as possible and building towards that, because once you do get that, that will help so much. I mean, nowadays in the stuff I do, I'm driving all over. In the summer with weddings, you know, the furthest ones I've done so far, been like Wales or sort of like Leeds and stuff like that.
And you're in like North London now, aren't you?
Sort of southwest. It's nice because it's sort of central to everything. If I was still down Brighton way, it'll be, you know, further for some gigs and shorter for others. But yeah, you'll be, you know, when I was doing sort of this summer, I was doing like 2 to 3 gigs each week, and they'll be, you know, bloody wherever. So I was clocking on loads of miles. But if I couldn't drive, I couldn't do any of that. You know, there'll be a rare few where someone will go, okay, yeah, we're sort of passing London. You know, we'll come and get you.
Yeah.
So it's good to work towards. I mean, the only way I afforded the driving was after uni. I did a postgrad, and I ended up sort of quitting it halfway through because I didn't get on with it, and I used the last bit of money to sort of just get the driving on the go and really push that. I think I was quite lucky in that regard. If I stayed on the postgrad, I wouldn't have been able to, you know, afford it. I might be a year behind. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So, but yeah, no, that helps so much. You know, it depends on what you're doing. But again, with original stuff, it's easier because they tend to be in big cities, so you can get trains there.
That's true. With
stuff like weddings, people love getting married.
Always in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah. Nice venues and farms and like inns and stuff like that. And, you know, my sat nav has a hard enough time getting there without, you know, even with a car. So it's like without a car, you got no chance at all, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a huge thing, 100%.
Sweet, cool. So let's go back to you being in you playing for musicals and theatres and stuff. How did you get into doing that as well? Is that a similar thing with the agency or?
So that was once again, it all seems to be just filling in for people, and then it leads on to other things. So that one was the first one I did was like a small pantomime in North London, which was just really good fun, really relaxed. So that was great for me because my reading, like reading dots and stuff, is I've been working on it the last few years, but I'm definitely not as hot on it, you know, as other people around. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So the way I got that was I saw on Facebook, almighty Facebook, that a mate of a mate was looking for a guitarist or something, and I sort of said, yeah, no, I'll do that. I'll be interested. Tell me more about it. And then luckily my friend, our mutual friend, said, yeah, get him on. He's all right. So I was very lucky with that regard. And then from there, I did that. And the musical director really seemed to like me. And he keeps calling me back ever since. I try my best to pee him off, but he keeps ringing back. So
it's not working right.
And it's strange because you form the people you work with, you form relationships with. It doesn't matter where it is or how chill the event is, but if they like you and you work hard, as long as you stick in their mind, they do call you back, and it's great. That's the best feeling. Do you know what I mean? When you get called back for a gig, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then from there, I mean, I just get to know sort of some of the production teams from all over. So I've done sort of ones sort of like mostly south really, sort of Burgess Hill and Crawley, one in Brighton, and then sort of Guildford and stuff like that. And you sort of get to know the teams, and people get to know you. And you know, if they need players and stuff, hopefully they'll bring you back, or you hunt them down. You know, one of the two.
Yeah.
But it's good fun. Yeah, I mean, I like that because you learn a lot because there's always a lot of homework if you don't know the show, because the last one I did was Footloose, the musical.
Okay. Yeah.
Which was, loads of cool guitar stuff, solos and all that. So that took me, I put a lot of time into trying to learn that because it was like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
But you learn a lot, and same with the sort of function stuff. When you sort of start learning some of the stuff that's in the circuit material-wise, so like the shows or function tunes, it gets a bit easier because if you do like the same show in the future of another team, hopefully it will sort of, stick in there. And it'll be a lot easier to get through,
Cool. Yeah, sweet, man. So, how important would it be? Like, you've learned all these songs now. You know how to play all of them, and you come across a vocalist who can't sing in the particular key that you know that song. Is being able to transcribe on the spot a really important skill for being a session player, or do you generally kind of know what you're doing ahead of time?
It's okay. It's quite a funny one. I think it comes back to that sort of idea of adapting. The quicker you can be at adapting is great because it takes the pressure off. I've been in a few eventful gigs where you know, I've been filling in or depping for a function band or whatever, and then I haven't been, you know, loads of miscommunication is the key word, and then a singer will pop up, and that he's a dep as well, you know, so
Okay.
so
Oh,
no
fun.
one knows, no one knows what's going on, you know,
Yeah.
and these things happen. I mean, at the time, you just got to sort of do the best you can to, you know, keep the audience happy and do, you know, make a good night out of it.
Sure.
So I've done a few where I've learnt the set, you know, 35 songs, yeah, which is, you know, quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I'll practice them in, you know, the original keys or whatever. And it's like, yeah, cool. And then sometimes there'll be a few where you sort of get used to, like, okay, so most people change that to that key for that one because it's a bit higher, whatever, that's fine. And then, you know, you get a singer comes in and rewrites the set and goes, yeah, by the way, those, you know, 15 to 20 tunes, yeah, can you do in that key, that key, that key? It's like, oh no,
Yeah.
no. So
Oh,
trying to be prepared for that stuff is, yeah, dire important, because that means you can try and get through it a bit easier.
Yeah.
But I think that it comes sort of through experience of just getting used to doing that stuff. So if you know a tune with guitar, it's great because you can sort of take that visual aspect of how you think about it, you know, move it about. So the great thing about guitar is that because it's so shape based, we can, you know, move the same chord shape like down 2 frets to get, you know, a different chord and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you can remember the whole progression sort of fret wise, you can just use fret numbers in your head, really simply. So if you need to move down a tone, just move everything down 2 frets. Or you can also think of it sort of intervallically, which is a horrible word to say. So if you're talking about like sort of the harmonic series with chords, I know you did a video recently about it. So like, you know, a 4th chord, 5th chord, etc.
Yeah.
You can sort of take that into account and just move in your head the key center. So if you're playing in C and you've got that sort of you know, 1st, 4th, 5th, so C major, F major, G major, and someone goes, can you put it down the tone? That's annoying because then you're in B flat and you can't use the same shape because you need you know, to get that E flat major.
Sure.
So in that case, you need to rework the shapes. You can't just do the fret trick. So then that way, using the intervallics and knowing that, okay, I start with the C up there on the E and use the other shapes I know, you know, think, okay, well, it's still a 1st, 4th, 5th. I just need to use other shapes, you know.
Other shapes, yeah.
So that stuff can really help. And the more you do that, you'll just get more used to it. And yeah, it can be stressful, but I think as long as you try and keep a cool head and do the best that you can without worrying too much, you know, the night will go fine. It's just one of them things, you know.
Cool. So yeah, I think the most important thing to take out of this so far is being able to adapt on the spot. Just working on that, really. Yeah. So would you have any tips on how people could be more adaptable?
Yeah, it's really just about throwing yourself into many situations as possible, because, you know, the only way you're going to learn how to fix problems is problems occurring, you know.
Yeah,
so
that's it. Yeah.
The more gigs you do, you know, no matter what they are, you're gonna learn something. You know, jam nights are a good one because you're getting up with random people playing songs that you might not know. So I'd recommend going to as many of them as possible, because you will get up and they'll go, yeah, can you play this song which you've never heard in this key, which you've never definitely played it in, you know. And it's like, yeah, okay, sure. You'll sit there for half a song going, and then hopefully halfway through you'll sort of get it, and you'll get quicker and quicker at sort of hearing, you know, the chord progressions and stuff like that. And you know, that helps so much. When just before I went to uni, I was going out to sort of all the old boys clubs and playing old like bluesy numbers and that. And that helps so much, just sitting on stage and trying to eyeball the fretboards and then getting used to the sound of the chords and then trying to, you know, learn it on the spot. Yeah, it helps so much, like for nowadays as well, because when anything happens I can hear what's going on, hopefully, you know. But yeah, just get out and do as much as possible. It doesn't matter what it is, original stuff, jam nights, any gig will, hopefully you can learn something out of it, and it will just build up and build up and build up, and you have that sort of punch a repair kit of, you know, how to fix whatever problem, you know, comes up.
So yeah, just throw yourself in the deep end then.
Definitely, yeah, because I think that's where the biggest reward is, sort of experience-wise. You know, it can suck at the time, you know, but once you get through it, and you know, that's where you'll sort of look back and analyze and go, okay, I could have done that different. I could have done that better. That went really well. I'm glad I did that instead of that, etc., etc.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Sweet. So I think we've gone over everything that I wanted to go over today. Yeah. Do you have any other closing thoughts or any like kind of tips for anyone at all, maybe?
I think maybe an extra thing to talk about would be, yeah, a sort of attitude on the job and after the job.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
a big thing is that I think is really overlooked is, you know, you're there for the purpose of playing your instrument and filling in, you know, a part. Doesn't matter what kind of gig it is. But outside of that is the person who you are. You know, there's plenty of instrumentalists in any sort of field, you know. So there's always going to be more than one person that someone can hire. But the reason that you might get the job is something to think about. So I think a big thing about it is when we play or when we're working, it doesn't matter what we do. If we're touring's a massive one. We're going to spend way more time sort of hanging out with the people we're working with rather than on stage playing.
Yeah.
So I think being easy to get along with. Being easy to get along with is a huge thing. You know, being socially nice and just comfortable to be around will go a long way because people want to work with you more. If you're a great player but you're sort of sickening to hang around with, you know, it's not going to help anyone. You know.
Yeah.
So trying to just be easygoing, chillax. Once again, if there's problems, try and deal with it cool-headed. Like, don't, you know, put up a fuss or anything like that. Because you're not the only one in the boat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you have like a down mood, and I've done it plenty of times. If you're sort of grumpy one night or whatever, it can really affect everyone else and not just yourself.
Yeah.
So trying to stay cool and relaxed, and even if you're a bit grumpy about something, just try and chill out, you know, because it's it could mean the difference about getting called back or not.
That's it. Yeah. I like to if I'm in a really bad mood, I kind of like to acknowledge it to everyone around me to let them know that they haven't done anything to me. I'm just kind of like in that, like there's like sometimes you just can't help but like not like feel good. So you know, I think that's another tip that you can use. So any other thoughts before we close this?
So I did make some notes.
Yeah.
I think we've gone through a lot. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help with anything. You know, you'll meet loads of great players, whatever you're doing, and trying to ask them about their experiences and that can really, really help as well.
Yeah.
You know, there's been plenty of times where I've been the freshest guy in the room, you know, with something, and you know they've been way more experienced than me, and you sort of get through it and you think, oh man, you know, I just did a really bad job there. You know, these guys are better than me.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you know, sometimes you get guys that come up and just go, don't worry, you know, just next time do that or that or that, you know. And sometimes just having words like that can really help. Or the other way around, just saying, you know, I really want to get into this more. Could you give me some advice on how to, you know, be better next time? And you can learn a lot that way because most people are really happy to help. You know, in this line of work, we're all passionate about what we do, and we love talking about, you know, gear or playing or anything like that. So most people should be happy to sort of give some advice.
Sure. Yeah. Sweet, man. Cool. All right. Before we go, do you want to plug your projects? Anything that you want to tell the world about?
If I have to. Yeah. No, I think you sort of wraps it up to begin with. So I'm a greedy boy. I do loads of stuff. You know, for me, I'm always learning, so I try to do everything. But I think the thing I haven't really talked about is sort of what I do originally in creative wise. So I play sort of all this commercial stuff to work, and then I play in a prog metal band called Vrona, which keeps me on my toes very much so. And that's sort of my creative thing. I think actually that's another big thing, staying creative, because people can get really stuck in just sort of workflow, work head all the time, and that's great, that's awesome. But if you haven't got something that you're sort of pouring your passion into on the side, just for your sort of satisfaction and enjoyment, I think that can really sort of get you a bit down and grumpy long term as well.
Yeah, that's something I've definitely experienced firsthand.
As
soon as I just start like trying to have fun playing music, then it just ignites the fire again. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and you'll like put on your, your favorite song, or whatever, and just jam to it. And you're not, you're not trying to push yourself alone. You're just having a laugh. And sometimes that's the best medicine. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And yeah, for me, like playing out with my own music with Vrona and that is great as well, because it's your own thing. You've worked towards it. It's not just about, it's not work. I mean, it is hard work, but it's not there just for work. You're gaining something that's totally different than to what you earn from other stuff, Sure. And it's great. It's really good fun. So yeah, that sort of keeps me busy. We're sort of busy at the moment, sort of recording, for writing for the next EP and doing demos and that, and trying to sort out some tours for next year. So hopefully we'll be busy boys.
Awesome, cool. Right, I'll stick your social media links in the description and stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you enjoyed that video, let me know in the comments. Like the video and subscribe to my channel as well. And we'll see you in the next one. Cheers, Connor.
Brilliant. Cheers.
Bye, mate. Thank you.